This is Sandy Monroe from A Joyful Life Lived. I'm here today with the lovely Nina Maglic. She is a super happiness coach from Austria. And I'm so excited to have her join us today because she is going to be talking about how to release feeling like a victim. And I personally don't know anyone better who could talk about this because she had to overcome so many things that had nothing to do with her. She did not create them, but she still knew she had to somehow stop thinking that way and start to take more charge and responsibility over her life so that she could create the happy, joyful life that she's created now. Hi, Nina. How are you?
Hi, Sandy. Thank you for having me here. Hi, everybody. I'm so excited to be here with you.
I'm so excited to have you. You know, your story is so inspiring. So let's get into it. I want you to share it. Can you tell us a little bit about what you went through, in your childhood that was difficult, that made you, as you got older, think that life was against you, things were, how can you change this, right? When it's a whole country, not just you, right? So could you explain to the audience a little bit about your backstory so it makes more sense? Hello? Hello? Oh no, technical difficulties. Oh, there
I'm
you are.
here. I'm
Okay.
here. I'll see. so, um, for everybody, like, my name is Nina Maglic. I'm managing healer. When I grew up in Bosnia and Herzegovina, it's a small country in southeastern Europe. We always call it Wild East because it's very, very special country. This country was affected by war. Like, we had 3 years for no electricity, no running water, no food, no anything. And you can imagine, like, living in a war where you every day just want to survive one more day, and that was it. So growing up in circumstances like this, I always thought like the life is against me. Like, everything was against me. Like, as a child, all I wanted is to play with my friends outside, but it was not possible. And when you grew up like that, where everything is forbidden and there's so much scarcity out there, like, you think that happy life is not for you. You are not the chosen one. Happy life is only for certain kind of people who are born lucky, but that's not you, because you go through so many hardships, like, that you think like, I cannot have a happy life because the country that I grew up was affected by war. Then even though 30 years after that, like, country still struggles to survive. And that was really kind of mentality that I grew up. It's not, as you said, Sandy, like, it's not only me, it was the whole country and everybody has a similar life. And then I moved to Austria with 800 euros in my pocket. I thought, I am rich. I'm super rich. I will never forget the conversation with my dad before I went, before I moved to Austria, because my dad didn't even know that I'm going to study in Vienna. 2 days before I moved to Austria, I said, my dad, like, Dad, I'm moving to Austria. I got accepted for the university. I'm moving there. And he looked at me and said, like, Nina, you don't have money. I said, my dad, like, Dad, I have 800 euros. I'm rich. I truly believe that I am a rich person because that was a lot of money for me at that point of time in my country. And he looked at me and said, like, Nina, you don't have money. Like, how you're going to study there, like, without money? I said, like, Dad, let me go there. I will figure it out. And my first day in Austria, when you come there, you have to pay like a semester fee. You have to pay for the dormitory, for like health insurance, all kind of insurance. Like, and all of a sudden, I was left with 10 euros, and I said, "Oh, maybe I'm not so rich as I thought." But I was too proud to tell my father, I don't have money. And I decided I'm going to figure it out. And this is what I did. I really figured out how to stay there. I studied in Vienna. I graduated from the university. I also have master's degrees. Like, everything is possible if you take control over your life and take responsibility for your life.
Yeah. Is it okay if we go back a little bit? Because I'm
Yes.
sure if I'm interested, other people would be, because, it's okay if you don't want to go there too much, but what exactly was a typical day? Because you said no food, no, water, no anything. So does that mean you went sometimes days without food?
Luckily, my family had some food for the day that we had, like, but it was not too much. It was just for the surviving, like for a couple of days, and that was it. And my father had to had to go out and find the food, and it's like my dad was working, my mom was working, but when you work in a work, that doesn't mean that you're going to get money. That's not the case. But sometimes people, like, when you go to work, even if you go to work for the state-owned companies, like my parents did, you will get like just food for that. Like you will not get paid because money is not worth anything. Like money doesn't have any worth, like it's just worthless for everything. So you will always be paid in the food. So this is how my parents survived the war. Like this is how my family survived the war, because my family, my parents worked for state-owned companies, and that was, I think, the biggest luck. And my father was also doing some extra hustling to get money for that, to
Wow.
get food, not money.
Yeah, no, yeah, and that was the key. Like you just said that my dad did some extra hustling. So it would almost
Yes.
like he gave you some of his spirit to like, don't just stay stuck, try to do something, even though it seems so like that. He tried to figure out how can I get more food for my family. That's that's amazing. Can I ask real quick, like how old were you during those 3 years? Because you seem to remember a lot.
Yes, when the war started, I was 6 years old, and it lasted until I was 9 years old.
Wow. Yeah, wow. Those are the formative years.
Yeah.
Um, that's yeah, those made a huge imprint. Now, I remember in one of our talks, you said that there was just a point where you started to feel like stuck, or you started to feel like, you weren't very happy, right? Something was wrong. You were also in pain. Um, and the way to getting yourself out, you said, was realizing how angry you were.
Yeah.
That was the
Actually,
or was there,
yeah,
sorry, is that the beginning, or was there another point that you really did realize even before that?
I realized even before that, because I just didn't know why I'm so angry, because I was so angry person. I never understood why. And actually, a few years ago, when I graduated from the university, I got my 9 to 5 job. I also I was doing international researches for multinational companies. I also set up company with my partner, who became my husband later, and we were highly successful in everything what we did. Like I was also I was managing 700 people and 200. I led teams up to 200 people internationally, and it's one moment I got sick, and it was so bad that I had the cramps, that I was not able to move every time when I had a cramp. I was paralyzed for 1 hour. And that was so bad that I was not able to work anymore. And I was searching for the cure. Like I was looking for any solution, but I couldn't find it. And there was one point, there was one day when, those days when everything goes wrong, you know,
Yeah.
and that was my day when I left. Like I went outside the hospital, I was crying. I was like, oh my God, I just won my life back. And I remember scheduling a call with one of my coaches, and with one session, I was pain free for the first time after 18 months. And that shifted my reality. I said, like, I want to know what you know. I want to be able to help myself anytime I need you, like every time I need it. And that was my self-discovery journey, when I started looking at everything what is happening in my life. And actually, I was able to let go of that anger when I started really looking deep down in my childhood wounds, understanding that anger that I had as a child was such a powerless anger that I couldn't do anything in the world. I was like stuck in that life situation, and I had so much anger because I couldn't have better life as a child. And when I was able, thank God, I learned like energy healing, and I was able to release those childhood wounds, like I healed those childhood wounds, that I was able to move on without anger. Like, this is why I love energy healing, because you will not lose memory, you will just lose the attachment to event. When you go back, you don't have any emotions attached. And this is why I became what I became, because I was so fascinated with the how powerful energy healing is, and I want to share that with the world.
Wow. Can we touch a little bit exactly how, like, because you released basically the block of feeling like a victim, and so we went through, everything that you went through as a child was just an incredibly challenging hardship. And but I guess maybe because you were still young, and a lot of us still have that spunk in us when we're still young, you're like, I'm going to go to Vienna, I'm going to get myself out. Because I think a lot of us have that, honestly. If we had a hardship, a lot of us like kind of dream and like of how we're going to get out, and like we do it. And knowing you, this point came a little bit later. Like you said, you were already successful with your husband in a business managing 700 people, so it's almost like you can no longer live on that spark of youth, and now you have to actually figure out what's happening underneath, right?
Yes.
Is that what you
actually when I moved to Vienna, I started like doing like I set up company with my partner.
Mhm.
And this is how I started like growing everything. But as you said, even though you're highly successful, it doesn't mean like you're emotionally healed. We all have some emotional wounds that we have to look at. And for me, it was really understanding that I was in the victim mode, thinking that everything is against me, that I cannot have a happy life, that it's not for me, it's only for chosen one, and that's not me. And and once you understand that everything is happening inside of you, and your world is actually a projection what is happening within you. And when you understand that you have to change yourself in order for the world to change, everything shifts. And when you really start working on yourself and you really see the results, how world is shifting, then you feel even really powerful, and we feel encouraged to do even more.
Did you have a moment while reading a book? Because I know you've also mentioned you did read a lot of books, and none of the books helped you.
Yes.
This isn't her website. She didn't mention it right now, but I know her. I've gotten to know you a little bit. And on your website you mentioned that. So even though the books didn't help, was it the books that at least let you kind of see I'm feeling like a victim? Is that how it happened, or how did you get that realization, like, oh, I feel like a victim?
It's actually during one of the sessions with my coach. When she actually started pointing some things in my life, and all of a sudden, like when I put all puzzles together, then I saw, oh my God, the only person standing in the way of me having better life is me. And I saw how, when I saw how I have the same block in different areas of my life, it's not only in my like career, it's not only about in my friendship, it's not only in my partnership, it's all like all this. If you have one block, it usually spreads all over your life. It's yeah. And then I realized, oh my God, what do I do? So let's change something. And I really started realizing, okay, I have to change something. Yeah. Wow. Well, the thing with self-help books is actually, first of all, the author really, when they write a book, they write it with such a good intention to help everybody. But sometimes one method fits all is not always the perfect. And it's also when things started working, like when tools work, first you have to release anger, and then you become happier, like because you have to let go of that what is blocking you. And that is something that nobody talks about, that that is going to be worse before it becomes better. And people usually stop doing it because they think this doesn't work, because instead of being happy, I'm angry, like this thing doesn't work. And and when I realized, when I started doing energy healing, how it works on different levels, like it works when you become first angry and then you release that you can become happy.
I get what you're saying, because before you release that stuff, it's not so much that these books have bad advice. It's just that it's impossible when you have all of these strong, what I call trapped emotions inside of you. So when they say, you know, do this, it's what happened, you know, or I can't, or, you know, I'm not worthy, or something will pop up and you can't actually do it until
can
you
move forward. There's a block there, you know, and sometimes you really, really need somebody else outside of your world to tell you, like, objectively what is happening, you know, because if you have a friend, they will always sugarcoat it for you, or some people are going to be brutally honest. But, you know, sometimes you will not react on any comments until you hear that from somebody who is really from outside the world and who really sees different things differently than you see. You know, sometimes you just need somebody to tell you, hey, this is what you do.
yeah. Yeah. And I love that you mentioned that it was through a coach, because, and that you're saying you're not necessarily going to listen to your family, because that's what I've noticed, because even before I started coaching, I was trying to help friends or stuff like that. And you get the, like, no, that's not true, or no, and like the real, like, defensiveness, and real, like, just no. And it all changes once you work with clients, because they've actually really do want your help. They're even paying you. So, you know, the value is there. Like, they understand they're there for a reason. And then they're so much more willing to do the work, and so much willing to show up for themselves. Really, that's the word for it. So I love that you mentioned that it was with a coach, because sometimes, you know, if we can't even, if we really just don't know where to begin and we're just stuck, but if there's just a little bit of faith that, like, I can figure this out. Okay, maybe someone can help me. Let me try to work with a coach or somebody that can. Just that willingness is gonna, like, open up like a water fountain. You know, like,
You
it's
know,
gonna,
I completely agree with you, because for my case, like, I was in a victim mode.
yeah.
You know, even though my friends gave me good advice, I was not able to listen to that because I was in that victim mode.
Mm-hmm.
I was driving them crazy, and they were driving me crazy because they didn't understand me and I didn't understand them. And all of a sudden, like, there was miscommunication, because we both wanted only the best, but actually was not able to communicate that in that way, you know.
Yeah.
And when coach came, all of a sudden, like, for me, coach is a teacher, and I had so much respect. And usually when teacher speaks, I don't, like,
You
you
listen.
don't speak, you know, you
Yeah.
listen, like.
Yeah.
And this is why I understood that differently. And with my friends, my whole life I was playing victim, like, victim role. Like, it's hard to, like, overcome that block when you have that block with your friends, you know. Sometimes you just need another person to tell you.
You do, like, somebody you don't know, and so there's no emotional attachment. So if they tell you something, it's not like, why are you hurting me like that? Like, why are you saying this about me? And it's like, I'm not saying anything about you. Like, this isn't like that, you know. I totally understand. So I really want to reiterate that this is why it's so important, so significant to take that leap of faith and just sometimes make that appointment, because sometimes, you know, people will make that appointment but they're still scared and then cancel, maybe, or they're at the office, if it's an office to go to, and they'll be like pacing back and forth, do I stay, do I go? And, you know, sometimes I hear stories about the person left because, you know, they were too worried about what would happen afterward, never even having seen, you know, the person before, or things like this. So it's definitely that struggle of wanting that change, wanting that. So what do you think made it for you? Because we see this in people, right? That you just went for it. You were just like, and that could help other people. Just go for it. Like, just do it.
You know, I always tell the biggest skeptics have the best results, because they are really like, when you try to convince skeptics, like they usually say, no, 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 this is not for me. But I say, like, I never want to convince somebody. I want to show you results, and then you can decide if it is for you or not. Because I know it works. Like, and this is why I love skeptics also, when they come to me, like, okay, let's talk, let's see. And for people who are still struggling, like to decide if this is something for them, if coaching is something for them, you know, we all offer like free discovery calls. You can always hop on a call and see if this is something for you. You can decide, like, can I talk to this person? Does this person understand me? Like, are we the good match? Like, there are so many factors that people can like evaluate when they get on the free discovery call, and they really can decide if is this something for them or not. And yeah, the best thing what I would say, like, every change is scary, every change.
Yeah.
And I remember when I started working with my coach, even though I knew that she changed my life, I was so scary when I signed up for the program, when she teaches me what she knows. So like, and I remember that moment, I even got sick. Like, I got a fever, like, oh my God, what is happening? Like, did I do the right thing? Like, is this right what I did? And it was 3 months program. And when I look back, I would never, ever change anything, because it completely changed my life. And it not only my life, the life of my family, my life of my friends. And when people saw how much my life changed, this is how I became coach. Like, people saw how much my life changed, and they started approaching me to tell them how I changed my life. And I started giving sessions to my friends and family members, and they started recommending me to other people. And all of a sudden I had my clients, and I decided, okay, let me be full-time energy healer. Because, you know, I have a clients and I love helping people, and people have amazing results.
That's amazing. So what there was something you said there. Sorry. You took the 3-month program. Oh, that's what it was. Once you're out of that program, or even probably in between it, your husband and people started to see what made them really say something's different with Nina. Like, what was it that like was like, I need some of this?
First of all, this is, I was pain, like, I didn't have a pain. I was happy. I woke up every single day smiling. I have to admit, first month was really hard, because I had to look at my childhood wounds and heal those wounds. This was the really challenging task. But once I did it, all of a sudden I started becoming really happy. I had more energy, and I was not anymore in the victim state. All of a sudden, I changed my life so much. Then, because I started coaching, you know, I said at my company, all of a sudden I did like, what did you do? Like, what is happening in your life? You have your company, you do coaching, you did marketing before. What do you do now? Like, what is happening? But I see you happy. And I remember, like, sometimes when, like, even though that was the process, in that process, I was so scared how people are going to react, because my former bosses, my colleagues, how they are going to react. And I remember when I published that I have my website, I got a card from my former boss, which is also dean of the university, was also my mentor and also my former boss at one point. And she said to me, it seems like you found your calling. What can you wish for more? Congratulations. And all of a sudden, like,
Wow.
the only person standing in the way is me.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it was really like, okay, let me do more, because I inspire people. And I think my clients actually pushed me to go outside and do social media, because I never wanted to do social media, but my clients created my website. They said, like, here, you have website, go there. They created profiles. They said, like, you should go to Instagram, you should go to social media and teach people what you do.
So 2 questions off of what you
Yes.
said. You really were able to see that big of a difference from just the first month? Like, just from the
Yes.
first month, it went from, can you explain the change? What was it, like pain, unable to get out of bed? Like, what were the characteristics from one to the other?
First of all, before energy healing, before that course, I was in a victim state, complaining a lot, driving everybody crazy. During that course, I saw that everything what is happening around me, I have to take control over my life. First of all, I have to take control over my life. I have to take responsibility for myself and my life. I cannot blame anybody for my life, and I cannot give anybody responsibility over my life, because my life is my responsibility, and what I do, how I react on outside the world, it's my responsibility, not anybody's responsibility. And all of a sudden, when you start doing that every single day, you do like needle moves, like all of a sudden you have a big shift, like when you do so much. And this is how I start seeing that instead of letting go that things happen to me, I start creating things for me.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So that was a big shift.
Yes.
Now you're talking about you changed from being a victim to taking responsibility. But before we go there, you went, so you were in pain. You said you were driving people crazy. Can you say how?
It's like I was always complaining. This is how I always thought that I'm stuck. I cannot do anything. When people gave me advice, I said like, that's good, but not, this is good for somebody else, but not for me. It will not work for me. And this is how I just like drive people crazy. But any advice they give me, like I was like, this is not for me. This is maybe for somebody else. I cannot do anything in my life. I'm stuck. Or something like that.
Like you were powerless almost. Like, is that right?
Yes. Powerless, weak,
yeah,
hopeless, helpless, all kind of stuff.
That makes sense given that you were a child in the middle of a war and you were powerless at that time.
Yes,
yeah,
I had really to go back to my childhood wounds and see where I was stuck, where I was angry, why I was so angry. I started releasing that anger. I start releasing that feeling of being powerless, hopeless, and helpless, that nobody can help me, like, because in the world nobody helped us, and that was the pattern I had all the time. And when I was able to heal those wounds, when I was able to let go of that emotional attachment, my life transformed. And I always say I'm so happy that I came across energy healing. I started doing energy healing when I was 14 and just did something, chakra balancing, all kind of stuff. But, I never understood the power of energy healing until I had the pain, until I was in the state that I was. And then I saw the bigger picture of that. I see how powerful it is. And I decided, okay, I want to know everything. Can you teach me over the night?
Everything at night. Yeah. And so that makes sense. So I love that you went deeper with that you really felt powerless, helpless, all of the things. And it almost makes sense that your friends didn't understand you because they didn't have your experience. So when they're trying to give you advice, like, what do you mean you can't do this? Like, just go, like, wherever it is that we're telling you ABC, like, you can do this, Nina. And you're just like, no, I can't. And it's and it feels that way, right? Like it feels real, even though they're telling you, no, Nina, you really can, all, and they're almost hand holding you, right? Like, this is really all you have to do, baby. I'm assuming, right? But if inside of you, you feel like you can't, then you can't. And you just can't move, right?
The block was so real. I really felt that way. And I completely understand my clients when they feel the same way, because I felt that way. Because when you're in that state, everything looks real. For you, like you said, like, what are you talking about? This is my life. It cannot be other way around. Like, it's not possible. And there's like, I know my friends meant in such a good way, but for me, in being in that state, I was not able to receive that message.
Yeah, and it makes sense. And and it seems like they're still your friends, and maybe once you were able to heal, you maybe even explained to them, like, yeah, you were, your advice was right. I just honestly couldn't because, and maybe you have explained it to them now and they understand. Or have you guys had that talk?
Yes, definitely. We had that talk. And, I also, first thing what I realized, what I did, like, I said, oh my God, these people are amazing people that I have around me, because they were such a great support through all these years. And first of all, I said to them, thank you for being there. And I said, I'm so sorry. Of course, you have to say sorry. And I said, like, you meant the best, but I was not able to receive that. And we are still friends. And they were my first clients. Like, I said, like, can I try something? I learned such a cool technique. Can I try on you? And it's like, if it works on you, it's going to work on me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we had amazing sessions together.
Okay, that is a huge transformation. So you went from a friend's giving you advice, I can't do it. You do this coaching program. Within the first month, you realize, oh, this is coming from when I was 6, 7, 8, 9 years old, in the war, and I felt powerless, I felt helpless. And you start, and then after all of that's done, you decide, I want to be a coach. Your friends start seeing you open up a new business. And that's why it was like, wait a minute, because when I used to try to give you advice, you would say you couldn't. And now they see that you can. That's the big shift they saw, wasn't it?
Yes, that was the big shift I saw.
That's amazing.
That was the shift, like, what did you do with your life? I was trying to give you advice, but you didn't listen. I said, I know, but they were like, as I said, the block is real and you cannot receive the message. You have to you have to receive it from other person. Yeah. It's not really meant something bad that your friends are not talking to you in the good way. It's just like you play victim with them, and you are used to play victim with them, and they see you as a victim. But when you have somebody who sees you equal as you are, and say, look, this is your opportunity, this is your life, this is what you do, there's potential for you. Do you want to see that? And first, let's go and heal the wounds, that you can really go and become whatever you want to become. And that's the transformation.
Wow. So so in order to reinvent this life, so you've gone from victim to I have power, I can stand in who I am. Was it as so easy as like, okay, let me start a business, or did you have to take several steps that you wouldn't have been able to if you hadn't released them? Like, did you have to go back to school? Because if you're still having blocks, you'd like, I don't want to start all over. I already have a master's, or whatever it is. Was there anything like that?
Yeah, actually, I wanted to do PhD because I had master's degrees. I wanted to do PhD. I wanted to become professor at university, and I wanted to do studies. But all of a sudden, I realized having another title will not make me happy. There are some other things that will make me happy. And this is what I'm doing right now, and working on myself is something that really makes me happy and brings so much joy in my life. And I want that. And all of a sudden, I realized, okay, I have to give up that dream, because when you really realize all of that, it's not even like, even though I loved what I did, it was not really my dream. You realize that, like, when I finished the master's degree, it's like, oh, it was nice. It was beautiful experience. I'm grateful, thankful for that, because it brought me to this path that I love more and I enjoy more. And I love coaching, because when there's no business in the world, there's no job in the world that you can work for 10 hours, and after 10 hours you just feel amazing. Like, you feel like full of energy, you feel happy, you feel joyful. Like, I love this job, it makes me so happy, and I want to do that. Like, I want to make people happy, because it's easy, it's possible, and you just have to show them different ways how they can achieve. And one method fits all doesn't always work. You have to find perfect way how you can communicate with people, how you can find the root of the problem. If you don't find the root of the problem, what you work is actually just scratching the surface and just playing like a little bit with that. But you have to really dig deep.
Yeah. So you have to I love that you said that you actually, and this is now getting into your coaching. You're a coach.
Yes.
And you have to try different tools, because it's not a one size fits all. It's not a, hey, come join my program, these 3 small things. And you have to actually get to know them, figure them out, I guess, right? Because you said it's not one size fits all. And then secondly, you just said you have to help them find the root.
Yes. And as you said, like, in my program, like, what I teach people, okay, we have to look your life 360 degrees. We have to look at that, because when you have one block, you probably have that in different areas of your life. And let's see what is the root of that. And let's tackle the root of the problem. All of a sudden, all these blocks in different areas are going to gone. Like they're going to disappear because you were tackled the root of the problem. And it's always like people always come like, I have money blocks, I have relationship blocks. Like, let's see.
Uh-oh, we have a little technical problem. Let's see. Oh, there she is. Hello? Hello?
Hello, I'm here.
Yeah, we had a little lagging or stopping. You said a client comes to you and they say, I have money blocks or I have relationship blocks. And then you say, wait a minute, we have to, and that's when it stopped.
Yeah, I said like we have to look at your life much bigger, like, and find the root of the problem. Sometimes it's really not the money block; it's more like blocks. I don't deserve that. I cannot have that. And if you have that block, is actually you cannot have good relationships. You can not have like beautiful job, like the amazing job that you love, and you cannot have like it's all connected. Like, and you have to find the root of the problem. And this is why I have like when I have like mentorship program, really teach people different tools that they can help themselves in different situations, that they really can help find the root of the problem. And we really look deep, really dig deep, like, and they experience amazing results.
That's amazing. Okay, I think we've covered it all, because you took us from victim to powerful, empowered. Uh,
Yeah.
so, can we touch just a little bit though, before we leave, on normally when you're in victim state and usually it is stuff that was outside of your control. So how were you able, if you're really in victim state, because a lot of people have this problem, how were you able to not, when it comes that moment, are you going to take charge? Are you going to take responsibility of your life, which you had that realization? How were you able to do that? Because a lot of people stay stuck in like, but it wasn't my fault. So what do you mean take responsibility for my life?
Look, I always said it was not my fault that I grew up in a country that was affected by war, but it's my responsibility what I make out of it. It's my responsibility if I want to stay in that victim state or if I want to change that and do something differently, because I have a power to change my life. I have responsibility to change my life, and I want that. It's really choosing differently and making different choices every single day, because nobody's going to come and save you because you're not going to listen to them. You have to find the way inside of you and say, okay, it's not my responsibility what happened, like it's my responsibility how I react to that.
That's
It's
where you're.
really like, it's like, okay, what could I do as a child like that I was affected by words, but I can go back and heal my wounds. I can go back and release that anger. I can go back and release that powerlessness. I can go back and really find way when I was stuck and why I was stuck, and let go of that. And that I was able to, when I did it, I was able to move forward in my life. And some people always think that they have to make big changes in their lives. Is actually if you do a little bit every single day, and if you choose intentionally how you're going to create your life, it's already big shift. Because when you decide, I'm not going to let that happen, I'm going to choose how I'm going to create that. It's really, that's the secret of everything.
Wow. I love how you said that, because I feel the same way. Like, you talk about anything, any kind of childhood trauma, you were just a child. It's not your fault, and that's not what anybody's ever saying about taking responsibility. They just mean take responsibility now as an adult, because otherwise, what's the other option? Life is actually pretty long. We like to think it's short, but if you're miserable, it's gonna be really long, right? If you're like you're now like 20, you're an adult, that was your childhood, and now you get to choose.
Yeah.
And but if you stay stuck, I mean, you could be there another 80 years. That's a long time.
Yeah, and it's not really fun to wake up every single day feeling drained, stuck, depleted, like feeling like all these negative emotions. It's really not fun. Like you don't even want to wake up in the morning, like let me sleep another day. It doesn't make sense to wake up. But it actually, when you change that, when you really change your life and you start living happy life, when you're so in love with your life, you want to wake up in the morning. You want to wake up at 5 in the morning and be so happy. This is the first change people saw at me. When I woke up at 5 in the morning, I was singing. I was like happy. I was so excited to wake up in the morning because I had a new day and I had a new opportunity to create it my way, to change something. I got really excited about everything.
I love that you just added that. That makes sense. What you just said, because I experienced similar. I'm a morning person too, and I remember having family visit me, though I've always been a morning person, so that wasn't really like they saw a change per se. But I remember, but people are gonna notice that. And I remember having my sister say to me, it's like 6 in the morning or something, and I'm already like all makeup and hair and everything, and ready to go to work. And she was just like, how are you singing and happy? It's like 6 in the morning. Like,
Yeah.
need more time to get more energy, like 8 o'clock or something. Like, and I was like, I'm just looking at her and I'm so happy. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like it's morning. It's like, like I don't understand. I'm up. But I loved my job. And like everything you're saying is you love your life. So it wasn't like I was going somewhere where I dreaded. Everything around me I already loved. So I that comes out. And so it seems like that was the biggest shift, is because you realize you didn't like your job. You realize that actually wasn't for you. And now you're actually doing everything that you love. And that's intentional. You said the difference isn't like this big shift, like I'm gonna go out and be a stock trader or something random that people randomly choose because the internet tells them to. You just say, I'm gonna live intentionally. What do I want? And start making those choices. And that in itself is enough to wake up and be happy, because everything that is going on in your day, you chose it. Right? Is that what that's what you mean, right? Like, why, how can't you be happy?
Yes, actually, even though I did the work that I love some kind, it was, I love research. I was so curious about everything. I couldn't wait to find the results. I was really, oh my God, let me see if I find this out. And, but when I compare that kind of job and this kind of job, what makes me happy is actually happier is this job, is coaching, because it's just beautiful to see transformation of people, to see how people become happier, how they step up and step into their power. Like I said, like, whoa, it just really, really lights my heart up. And so like, oh, this is so exciting. Let's do more.
Yeah, that makes sense. And that might be, I think what you're getting at, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think what you're getting at, because you were like, I was kind of happy at my other job. Like I liked it. It was fine. It wasn't like you dreaded going there. You just mentioned that. But you found what's aligned with you. Like that's like it, now you're in true alignment. So, and I think when the clients come to you, that's sometimes the problem. It's like, it's not sometimes that they really hate their job. There's just a little nudge, like, I think I'm supposed to be doing something else. That's more what you're talking about, isn't it?
Yes, you always like the
Yeah.
little boys inside of, they have gut feeling what is the right for them. I just like, I will never take responsibility for their life. I just like, look, you have this option, which one feels lighter for you? Which one, when you really think about that option, which option makes you happy? And that's the right answer for you. It's like, I'm not a person who makes decision for you. You already know the answer. You already know. You have two options, like which one feels lighter, which one feels happier. that's your option.
That's your
And
choice.
that's, yes.
I love that. Write that down. Anybody who like, just write that one down, because I love how that's the question you asked, which one makes you feel lighter?
Yeah.
Like, because even, I mean, or which one makes you feel happier? But to me, the which one makes you feel lighter resonates more. Like a little
Yeah,
bit.
whatever feels good for you.
Yeah. And so, I'm just like, write that down. Write that down. That was a good one. That was like gold there. When you're trying to make a decision and you don't know which one, and they both kind of like, they're kind of both okay, which one feels lighter?
Yeah,
I like
definitely, because you already know the answers. You don't need anybody to tell you what you should do. Like, you should just listen to yourself and listen to your gut feeling, like your intuition, because you always get the answers when you ask. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I love that, Nina. So I think that's it. I think we went through everything. And so the big takeaways, she took us, to me, two huge things. If you didn't catch them, or just have a little bit more like, oh, wow, that's what she meant by it, is really, if you're stuck in that, how can I create something new? How can I anything? Because my life was so hard and all these things happened and this was done to me and it's not my fault. And, I was raised in poverty, or, other people have it easier because they were raised in wealthy families, or this and stuff like that. She's saying that's not even the stuff that you have to think about. That's not even the stuff you have to think about or somehow rationalize in your mind. If that is what it is, and those circumstances were not your fault, it's just the choice of, what do I want for myself now? That's the choice. That's where you have the power. So that is huge. That is like, you could have a coaching session just on that, and you would have gotten that, and that would have been your money's worth, right? Because that's a huge one. And then the second one that you just said, because so many people, they're like, I think I want to be a nurse. No, but I kind of like therapy, like something, and they kind of both make sense because they're both a helping practitioner. They're both helping people. And they really, like, I've these things happen. She said, just ask yourself. So stop going to your husband, stop going to your friends and saying, hey, you know me, what do you think I should do? She says, ask yourself. You already know which one makes me feel lighter. And then just go see where it takes you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
And I love how you summarize that. I would love to add something else as well. Like,
Yeah.
it's really not the money that will make you happy. It's not the partner that will make you happy. It's not the job that is going to make you happy. It's not anything outside the world that is going to make you happy. It's your decision to create a happy life for you and to work on yourself to become a happy person. It's really, love and happiness come from inside. And there's nobody outside and nothing outside of in the outside world that is going to replace that, what you already have inside of you, because you already have everything what you need to be happy. You just have to start looking at yourself and finding that beautiful love and finding that happiness that you already have inside of you. And you have just been neglecting that, and because you want to, we always told how our life should be, and there's like certain expectations from society, from family, from all kind of people around us. But if you start like, okay, thank you so much, this is your life, let me discover what is my truth and what is happening inside of me and what is the love really for me. And you already have that inside of you. You just have to start looking at that and start searching for that, like inside of you, not outside of you.
I love that. I was gonna say, is there anything else you wanted to add? But is there anything else you want to add beyond that, as before we leave? And then
yeah, I would love to add, like, I just want to say, like, your life matters, your dreams matter, and the world does need that love and light inside of you more than ever. Please keep working on yourself and make yourself promise that you're going to work just a little bit more to become happier and better version of yourself. Thank you so much, Sandy, for this amazing opportunity. And I hope everybody can get value out of this interview.
Thank you, Nina. I thank you so much for sharing your story and um, just being so open about it, all of it, because it can help so many people to see that there is a way out of this, no matter how bad you think it is. And I know it's not you think it is. I know it really, really, really is. We both get it. That it's just taking that one step at a time, one choice at a time, and you can make it. If anybody would like to know more about you, possibly work with you, just know more about you, where can they find you?
They can find me on Instagram. They can find me on social, like all kind of social media channels. Instagram, Nina Maglic, Happy Life Energy, or you can find me also Pinterest, Nina Maglic Happy Life Energy, or Facebook, just Formula Life with Energy. I also have a free Facebook group, From Overwhelmed to Happy, where I really show people like different methods how they can be happy. I also have inspiring interviews with amazing people around the world. So you can also find me on my website, ninamaglic.com. You can also find me there. There's also free sources there you can use, like free masterclass, free meditation. So go there and check the website. And if you want to know me more, like I always offer a free discovery call, and we can chat how we can work together.
That sounds amazing. That a lot of options. And they can pick from any of them, right? I'm gonna
Yes.
I'm gonna have a link to you down at the bottom, wherever this is. This is gonna be in a few places. So just look down there, and you can get in touch with Nina Maglic. She's in Austria, but she works internationally, right?
Yes, I work internationally. I have my clients from Canada, US to Australia, Netherlands, like all kind of, like Poland, all kind of countries in Europe, and also worldwide.
That is just amazing. I said no more questions, but that's just like you're all over. That brings me back to when you said you had local clients and they're the ones that told you get online, right?
Actually, this is very funny. I already had international clients because my friends are internationally, like they are in all different countries. And even though, because I lived in 5 countries and 3 continents, I know I have so many friends all over the world. And even though we don't live so close to each other, we are still close and we talk to each other. And this is how they refer me to their friends who live in other countries. And all of a sudden, my clients from Netherlands, they said, like, you have to have website. They created website for me. So now you have to go online. So, oh my God. So they're here and support me. And there was somebody who said, like, Nina, you have to have social media. So like, I really don't want to have social media. And they said, like, you look at your energy and release that fear. I'll look at my energy. I was able to let it go. And I'm here everywhere, because I already had international clients, really. It's from the beginning.
Wow, that's amazing. So yeah, no matter where you are, she can connect with you. That's amazing. Sorry, everything about you is just inspirational. And so I hope that
Thank you.
there are at least you're welcome. I'm being honest. They I hope that this was, got a lot of nuggets out of this, a lot of wisdom. Again, if you want to connect with her, I'll put the link down below. And just one last bit. Do you want to say goodbye?
Yes, I want to say thank you, Sandy, for so much for this beautiful interview. Thank you, everybody who watched the interview. Thank you so much. And let's stay connected. I would love to know more about you. I really love meeting you people, and I enjoy so much. So let's stay connected.
I love that she said that. It's true. She really loves people. It's really true. She just she immediately connects with people and just wants to know everything about you. It's a good thing. If you're feeling any sort of vibrationally, like you're feeling aligned with her, just lean into that, because it's real. It's true. Like there is a reason you're feeling that with her. So let's go ahead and say goodbye. Thank you so much, Nina.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All
Bye.
right. Bye.